Are we good?
Awesome. I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
So
I
hey,
just kind of
hey, Mully, how are you?
oh, now we're recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
That was pre-show warm-up stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You always tell them before you hit record. You know.
Now it says live. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So,
So
so it's Saturday morning where I am, 9:54, June
Sunday
11th.
morning where I'm at, 1:54 a.m.
Wow.
Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's not tomorrow until you wake up, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what is that? What kind of guitar is that?
Thanks for having me in here, buddy.
Oh, of course.
This is this is my Frankenstrat. I kind of wanted to show this off a little bit because I think mine is a little different than what everybody else has. I don't have the sickness of getting it's not perfect. Let's put it that way. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks accurate, and the paint job is accurate, but everything else isn't. Okay, so starting off, this is a Warmoth body, swamp ash, and we've got a bird's eye neck and bird's eye fingerboard. It's got a Fender C shape on the neck back, which I like.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah. It's just got the plain black dots, 6105 stainless steel frets. So the not super jumbo, but the big frets. I got the Shaler locking tuners. So I've overkilled it. I got the locking nut and the locking tuners. But I'll tell you what, the only reason I went with the locking tuners is just for the ease of changing strings. Because you can just pull them through there and bop, done, right? So that's why I did that.
You just do like half a turn and it's done, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So now when I change strings, it takes like 10 minutes instead of 25. And then on the head, the guy that did the paint job for me, I got the neck with a satin finish from Warmoth, and Warmoth shipped it to the painter, and I had him let me take this off I had him put this on the head. Ernie Ball Mully Man. Can't beat that, right?
No, that's very cool.
And he finished over it, and he did a hell of a job because it looks like it was made like that. It's perfect.
Yeah. It looks like almost the font is really cool.
Oh yeah, well we use the same font. I don't remember who made this for me. Somebody from the VHML made this for me from the Van Halen mailing list, and I don't remember. I don't remember it. Maybe, yeah, maybe TB. Now, when I sent the artwork to the painter, I actually wanted it like the Music Man, real small and right in the center. And when I saw the pictures of it, I was like, "Oh my God, why is the logo so big?" And I didn't want to complain. And when it showed up, I was like, "Oh, okay, it doesn't look as bad in person as it did in the pictures." So I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, at least you can read it, from the stage.
Yeah, that's true. Now, some of the differences, like I said, it's a swamp ash body, or is it alder? No, it's swamp ash. It's swamp ash. So it's got an ash body, and it's got the Frankenstein pickup, the EVH Frankenstein pickup in the bridge. It's got an original hand wound pickup in the front by the guy who paints the guitars. I'm not sure if I can say his name, so I'll just leave it out just to be safe.
Okay.
You probably know who it is. Anyway, so this is a hand wound pickup, and it's push pull, so it's not dead.
Oh, nice.
So we do have, so the volume. Does Eddie's have a black volume knob on it?
You think I would,
white?
You'd think I would know. He's had so many different.
Yeah, that's true. But the one thing that I did do is it doesn't say volume; it says tone, which I saw on one of his guitars. I think the Music Man guitars back in the early '90s. His volume said tone on it.
Yeah.
So that's I've done that with all my guitars ever since.
Let me see. Here's one of the. Okay, yeah, his says tone.
Right.
It's white.
Okay, there we go. So it's accurate then. The bridge is Music Man bridge. It's stamped Music Man. It's off of an EVH model. So I thought that was kind of a nice little touch, the Music Man relation with the Eddie Van Halen and all that. The quarter's accurate. The switch is aged here in the center cavity there. On the back, I got Shaler lockers here rather than the eyelets that you guys use. I don't like those. I tried them. Yeah, wasn't happy with them. We go to the back. I did not get the reflectors on it. That was an option, but I opted out because I just don't like that. I mean, this is my guitar, not his.
Probably makes the guitar heavier.
Right. And then we've got the custom neck plate. This is the thing that everybody loves is when they see it up close.
Oh yes, awesome.
And it says Frankie on the bottom there. It's got the Van Halen stripes behind him. So this was the neck plate was made the FSR Custom Shop. A guy named William does them. I've got a spare here, just in case I got a flat. So
very cool.
I made sure to get two. The original plan was to hang this on the wall here, but it's been in this little bucket ever since. So you know how that goes. Now speaking of cool neck plates, I think I've showed you this before, John. This was my very first guitar that I bought back in 1986.
Yes.
An old Kramer, the JK 1000 Japanese or Focus 1000. It had a plain silver neck plate on the back with the serial number on it, but I had another Warmoth that I had made, and I had a custom neck plate made for it. And when I sold that guitar, I didn't want to sell the neck plate, so I switched to neck plates and kept this one here for now. But
oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we got Ed on there, right? And it's got my screen name, Mully 5150. And what's that? What the hell else does it say? Yeah, Mully number 5150. Yeah, so cool, right?
Yeah. So are you going to put that guitar back together at some point?
Yeah, it's actually really quiet right now. This is for playing at home.
Those are
eventually
great guitars.
I would like to, I would actually like to take this, get a banana head neck, and make a 5150 out of it. But at the same time, kind of don't want to desecrate my very first guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because I have the same. My first guitar was the same. Actually, the same guitar.
Oh, Focus?
Kramer Focus 1000. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and even though I never liked the color, I still it's still the same color.
So you still have it? What color is it?
I still have it. It's the red.
Okay.
I'll hang on a second. I'll grab it.
Yeah, I was never fond of this baby blue.
I think it looks cool.
Johnny
hang
turned
on.
off his camera. That means he's not wearing pants.
Yeah. Well, you know,
That's okay. Neither am I.
it's morning. All right. Hang on one sec. Hang on.
Sure. Hello, Johnny Bean viewers. My name is Mully. I'm also known as Warmouth Strat on the YouTubes. I've known Johnny for a number of years through social media, but it's just been recently that we've actually started, talking, exchanging messages and stuff like that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Here's mine. Right here.
Oh, okay. Sure. Did you change the neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can see this, you'll recognize the body. It's the same body.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Mine has the EVH Floyd Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a Floyd Rose 1000, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And then mine has EVH Wolfgang pickup. and then I changed the neck. It's a Kramer Pacer.
Okay, nice.
Pacer.
Nice. Let's see the back of it.
So
yeah, you have to, right?
There's the back.
Are those signatures?
No, that's an effect setting. This
the
was
one the one looks like it's a Sammy Hagar though.
This was years ago. Whoops. No, they're just like effects. You know, this is back in the days where I would just write on my guitars.
Okay.
So I would remember like flanger setting. I just used a Sharpie. I just write on the back, so I'd remember when I got to like the rehearsal or whatever. I'd know where to set my knobs.
Oh, Johnny.
So yeah, but for years, this guitar looked like yours. It didn't have a bridge on it or anything on it. It was just, this is the original right here.
Let's see. There we go.
The original Kramer. Of course, when I was a kid, I covered up the focus.
Okay, sure.
I covered up the focus part, but I wish I would have left it now, but
Now, how old were you when you got that?
Maybe 15.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was like 15 or 16 when it was 1980. I think I bought it in 1985, 1986. So that would have made me 16. No. Come on, Mully, simple math. 17. No, I was younger than that. So I must have bought it in 84. Oh, wait a minute. Well, Dave was still with Van Halen when I got it. So it must have been 84.
Mm-hmm. I think these guitars.
So I would have been 16.
What year are these guitars? Are these like 80? That headstock.
Oh, God. Who knows?
I think the Focus series, I think they were making them in 83, 84.
Okay. That's probably, yeah, that sounds about right. I was like, I know I was like 15 or 16 when I got it. Paid $199 for it. I remember that. It was used.
Oh, wow. That's a great price.
Yeah, it was at Machinauts Music in Southgate, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wanted a Kramer because I wanted to be like Ed,
Mm-hmm.
The way it all started was I actually wanted a bass because I heard, Rudy Sarzo's little bass break in Metal Health.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, Rudy Sarzo had that bass break there in Metal Health, right? And when I was that was 1982. So I was like 14, 13, 14. And I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. So I fell in love with, Rudy Sarzo's bass break. And then I saw Steve Harris of Iron Maiden. What do you got there?
Oh, I'm just
white balancing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a sticker. So every time I do that, it's
sure. Yeah, so and then Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, the hair and he was just totally cool, right? So my dad bought me a bass. The brand was Cort. Cort. Remember that brand?
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those, and was it a Gorilla amp? With that?
Yeah. Gorilla
that was like
amp.
that was a cheap amp back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got like this little tiny bass amp and the bass. My little brother got a knockoff Strat, I think a Squire. He got a Squire Strat in the just the typical burst, and he had the Gorilla guitar amp. And when I got into high school, well, yeah, because I was a freshman in high school, so I would have been 14. This girl in my art class, and I had long hair, not as heavy as I am now, obviously, because I was 14 years old. But this girl in my art class I thought was really cute. She told me I looked like David Lee Roth. And that was all I needed to, that's all I needed to be a Van Halen fan. That's how it started with Van Halen. Before that, I was more Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, stuff like that. And then when
the heavier stuff.
What's that? Yeah.
The heavier.
Yeah. Well, it's AC/DC is what got me into hard rock in the Back in Black album. And I was never really a big Van Halen fan. I thought Dave was a little fruity. He was a little too fruity for my taste back then. But then this, cute girl tells me, you look like David Lee Roth. Now all of a sudden I'm Van Halen's my favorite band. And so I started watching MTV was out there, and I think it was the Unchained video is what I saw. And when it's playing, I was like, oh man, screw this bass. This is what I want to do. And I was like, Dad, I want a guitar. It's got to be a Kramer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it started. Now I played through high school, and then I was off pretty much through my 20s. And then when I was 30, I started picking it up again. And I mean, I've always had a guitar laying around. And even in my 20s, I was going to the guitar shop quite often, hanging out. But, I wasn't in a band or anything, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably around 30 or so. I started getting some guys. Well, I live here in Japan, right? So, it's kind of difficult getting band members when you don't speak the language, right? So it took a while to get the language down and stuff like that. And then, started putting people together, and yeah, one thing led to another.
So
now I'm the singer. Go figure.
So you can speak fluent Japanese then now?
I wouldn't. Well, it depends on what you say fluent is.
Well, I mean, you can go anywhere and understand what's being said.
Yeah, I do okay. Yeah, I mean, I can handle myself when I'm out and about. I can go out by myself and converse with people. But the stuff comes on the news. That sometimes it loses me. I might understand 40% of the news sometimes. What are they talking about? I pick up a little bit of the story, and then I have to ask my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times I'll say, "Did he just say that?" She says, "No, it's the opposite." I was
like, huh. But you've been there for a long time, though, right?
Yeah, 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came over here when I was 23, and I turned 48 this year. Jesus Christ. That was quick.
Mm-hmm. So do you ever get back over here then?
The last time I was home was August of 2005. So it's been a while.
2005. Okay.
Yes, it's been 11 years. And yeah, it's just, the trip's really expensive and it's long. It's not like I'm flying into the West Coast where you are. I have to fly into the West Coast and then go all the way over to the East Side because I'm from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mom's down in Florida. So, I mean, we're looking just to go home in Cincinnati from door to door, man, it's 28 hours.
Oh, wow.
That's a long trip.
Yeah. So you pass over me then?
Yeah.
So I can like wave and you're still going.
Yeah. See, there's Johnny.
And then you see,
are you Northern California, Southern California?
Northern. I'm right below San Francisco.
Okay. I haven't had much experience in California. I've been to San Francisco, and I've been north of San Francisco, Santa Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Rex Jackson from the Van Halen list? No.
I recognize the name. Yeah, I was never really on that list. I think I told you before. I kept getting banned.
Okay.
Because I would join and somebody would start picking on me, and that was back in the early days. And I would be like, blank, and then they'd be like,
wouldn't be surprised. One of those people was me, probably.
That was before anybody knew who I was or whatever,
Okay.
So, this was years ago. This was 1999.
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, that could have been me. Sorry, John. Rex was living up in Santa Rosa. So, and I met him through the VHML. And when Van Halen came over here in 98, that's when the Van Halen mailing list got all the perks of, getting the VIP stuff and getting the pictures taken with the band. Well, when they came over here, I was the only one here. So there wasn't any of this VIP crap for us. We got backstage passes and guest tickets. And I mean, we were Scotty Ross was their tour manager at the time. And he handed us our backstage passes, and he says, "Run along, boys, run along and play." And I was like, "Does this mean we can go anywhere?" He says, "You just can't go on the stage. Other than that, I don't give up where you go."
Huh. But you ended up on the stage, right?
We did end up on the stage at the Budokan on the Friday. They played Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We ended up there on Friday night. I have no idea what Ed's text name was at that time. But he came out and he says, "Hey, you guys want to come up and play Ed's guitar?" And like, no, of course not. So we went up on stage, and that was kind of funny because they had that riser, kind of looks like a circus act, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And so they had that riser, and he told me, go ahead and sit down there. So I sat down, and he brought the Striped Wolfgang over, and he handed it to me, and he says, "Do not stand up while you're playing this." And I was like, "Okay." And he says, "And when you're finished, call me and I'll come get it. Do not hand it to me. I will reach in and take it from you." So yeah, there we go, right? Right? I mean, yeah, you don't screw around with Ed's guitar.
Did you have a camera?
Yeah, of course.
Because if those were the days when anybody had one of these things, you could just be like all over it, taking photos of every inch of that thing,
Well, I wish I had done that. We had a camera with
taking
us.
Selfies nonstop.
Yeah,
like you do now, right?
Sure. We had a camera with us. We had a video camera. I wish you could see the stupid face I'm putting on there. But yeah, we had a video camera with us. I've got probably 3 hours of video here.
Wow.
I mean, I've got part of the show. We were trying to make like a little movie of backstage with Van Halen, but like,
This was years before YouTube as well.
Oh yeah,
You know? So back then, if you would have put that up on the internet, it would have been like this size.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you
Right.
call it? What do you call it? Apple. What do they call it when the video is like really small?
Like a little thumbnail size.
Yeah. What was that called?
I don't know. I don't know. Here's me and the king.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was and then I don't know why. You would think that Ed's guitar would get the oohs and ahs, which it does from like you guys, but most people really get a kick out of this. Michael's Jack Daniels bass. So yeah, that was a cool experience. It really was. We had Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the Budokan. They were off Saturday and Sunday. I went and got the tattoo on my leg on Saturday night, and I was originally going to get a Van Halen logo put around my calf. And when I walked into the tattoo shop, I was like, I'm 30 years old. What the hell am I doing getting a band's logo tattooed on me? Grow up, right? And I was like, okay, change. So I started looking through their flash and I picked out a tattoo and they put it on my calf. The Monday night, we were at the Yokohama Arena. And after the show, we went backstage to the VIP room, the VIP room. They call it VIP room here in Japan. I don't know if you guys say the same thing back there. So we're in the VIP room. There were a bunch of people in there, and Scotty came over, and it was me and Rex, my friend Koji, and my girlfriend at the time. And Scotty came in. He says, "You guys get up and follow me out." So we went out, and he took us over to where the band was, and we sat down. We got to eat with them. And I was sitting with Michael, and I showed him my tattoo, and because I knew he had ink, and so I was showing him my tattoo, and it was still wrapped, and I had plastic over it, and he goes, "Oh, that's really nice," and he slapped the shit right out of it. Oh, sorry, and I slapped it as hard as he could, right, and he's just cracking up laughing. And I told him, I said, "If you do that again, the headlines are going to say the bassist was found dead here in the back of this place."
Oh my gosh.
But that was fun. It was a really great experience. The guys, you've met the band, right?
I've met Michael 1, 2, 3, like maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he's like somebody you went to school with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a regular old guy. Somebody was telling, I think it was his tech at the time. I don't know if it's the same guy. Kevin Dugan was
right.
Was
yeah.
Is he still teching for him?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's been with them since 1980.
Okay, so we were out with Dugan one night, and he was telling me that Michael would, like, if they go to Disney or something, like, he could bypass the lines, but he doesn't. He stands in line with everybody else. I was like, man, that's really cool of him, And he was really nice to us. He was really friendly, very personable. Ed was really nice to us. He's a little weird, but what do you expect to be, as great as he is? You got to be a little odd, right? Well, how you've seen him, right? You've met him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of in his own little space.
He was totally normal when I met him. I mean, he was just a normal guy.
Yeah,
cracking jokes.
The best way I explain the way the impression that I got of Edward was you ever see that Howard Stern episode where he comes in and he starts freaking out on that amp, getting down on his knees, climbing behind it, and just totally zoning out on
when the whole band was on Howard. Yes. Yes, I've seen that. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. I remember hearing that when it was actually on. I think I heard it when it was actually on the radio. And then, it was the E Show is what it was, because Howard Stern had the E Show at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the impression I have of Ed. You know, I mean, he was cool. He was very nice. He signed a 3 ball, right? Very cool. He gave me a guitar pick. You know, I think I pissed him off. I may have pissed him off at sound check. Like we were there was like 5 of us watching sound check, and he's playing something, and he stops, and he said something to the guy back at the soundboard, like, this doesn't sound good, blah blah blah. And stupid me, man, I can't keep my mouth shut. I said, you're Edward Van Halen. You could fart in that microphone and everybody would love it. Yeah, he didn't seem to like it too much.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think my my brother-in-law made him mad as well. My brother-in-law was with me, and he when we met him, he doesn't look, you know, like you would think. He has the short, you know, hair, whatever. So my brother-in-law didn't know who he was, and he's like, he goes up to him and he's like, hey, are you? He's like, you look like my friend, and I don't know what the name was, Steve or whatever. Okay. You look like Steve. You know, do you go surfing? And Eddie's like, no. He's like, are you? My brother-in-law. He doesn't. He tends to. He doesn't back down. He keeps up, even if you tell him no. He'll still be like, are you sure? You know.
Oh
so God. He keeps saying, hey, you look like so and so. Are you? You look like a guy I surf with. Do you surf? He's like, no. And then finally, you know, he says, Eddie is like, no, I'm Ed. And he yelled. I think he yelled at him. Actually, that's the story I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard about it later.
Okay. Right. Well, he didn't yell at me. He just scared bullets through me. I got the eyes. I got the stink eye from him. But that's cool. You know, it's a nice little memory. But that same night, during Jamie's crying, the last verse, they sang Mully's Crying. So
yes, I've seen that. I've seen the I probably had that show on VHS, and then it's on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it probably is. I've never looked. I've got it here on DVD, right here actually, because I remember pulling out showing you guys. So. Yeah, I got the DVD and the CD. Good stuff. Yeah, you know, it was a great experience meeting the band. Alex was a little, I don't know, he seemed a little rock star to me. You know, he was just like sign the autograph and go type guy. You know, he may have been busy. I don't know. The first night we were there, when we first got there, we went in and Scotty took us just below the stage, just below the steps where they go up on stage, and we backed up and got up near the curtain behind, because, you know, people were working. We didn't want to get in the way or anything like that. And I knew this had been coming for months. So I was just prepared. When I meet Edward Van Halen, I'm not going to say, I love your music. I'm not going to be that dork. Right? I mean, come on. So I wanted to be cool when I met Ed. So we're standing there backstage, and curtain opens and Ed walks in. And my first impression of him was, man, he's tiny. Because I'm a big guy. I'm 6'1", about, you know, at that time I was probably about 260. And here he comes walking. He's about 5'8", right? 5'7", 5'8", 110 pounds soaking wet. You know,
he's about the same. He's about the same as me.
Okay.
We might be. I'm thinking he might be a little taller than me, just a little bit.
Okay. But I was just like, man, he's small, and Jesus, look at that hair. It's gorgeous. It was like, you know, just perfect hair, right? So he's over there doing something, and Rex walks over there. Rex had been down in Australia with him, and he actually babysat Wolfie while he was down there.
Oh, cool.
So Rex is over talking to Ed, and he points over to me, and Ed sees me, and he comes running over, and he jumps on me. He gives me a bear hug, and he kisses me on the cheek, and he says, "That's from the old lady." because I used to argue with Val all the time on the Van Halen mailing list. Right. So he's like, oh, and I was like, oh my God. Right. And the first words out of my mouth, I love your music. You know, what could I say? I mean, I was at a loss for words. I had nothing I could say to him. Nice to meet you, Mr. Van Halen. You know, what could I say? And because of that little interaction right there, because like, I mean, he's been my guitar hero ever since I was, a kid, right? And that little interaction of him jumping on me and kissing me on the cheek and knowing who I was, I was like, really, Edward Van Halen knows who I am. I was like, that concert was like the least climactic session of my life ever. Like the concert was nothing. Because I peaked at that point,
Yeah, you can't top that, man.
And then on the last night of the tour, when after they were eating, they were getting ready to leave, Ed used to collect lighters. I don't know if he's still smoking or not, but he used to collect lighters, and I got this lighter in Tokyo. I don't know, it's a little square lighter about this big, and you unscrew there's this round thing on top of it. You unscrew it and you pull it out. It's like a tube, and it's got a flint on the end of it, and you strike it like a match, and you can light it and then put it back in there, and it sits in like lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Really cool lighter. So I got that, and I gave it to Ed as a gift. And when he was leaving, I gave it to him, and I said, I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to, do this and, see everything that happens. We had a great time. Thanks. Here, gave him the lighter. And then I leaned in, I grabbed him by the top of his head, and I leaned in, I kissed him on the cheek, and I said, give that to the old lady when you get home. Well, about 3 weeks later, it's about this time, late at night, my phone rings. Yeah, my phone rings. It's Val. And I was like, hey, Val, I didn't believe it was her at first. But then when I heard her voice, oh, yeah. So, Val, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So we're talking, and I thanked her because, I knew she was part of the whole deal of getting us in there. And I hear Ed come in the back, and he says, who you talking to, hon? Inside the Van Halen house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear the door open. Who you talking to, hon? And she says, it's Mully. She says, I'm talking to Mully over in Japan. And I said, tell him I'm the one that gave him the lighter. And she said, he gave you the lighter in Yokohama. And he said, yeah, I know who he is. And I was like, wow, right? But I figured he's full of shit, And I said, yeah, I gave him that lighter. She said, yeah, it was on his belt when he came in. Now, I did not tell her that it had a clip for the belt. Now, he either had it on there, or, she was telling the truth that he had it on there, or she saw it and just didn't want to hurt my feelings. So I'm going to go with he had it on there.
Yeah, he was probably using it.
Yeah, and then when we were, we talked for a little bit, and then when we were getting off the phone, she thanked me for the kiss, and I never mentioned that to her. So there we go. That was, my life is over. I've got nothing else I can do. There's nothing else for me to achieve.
That's cool. So so this would have been
98,
late 98.
Yeah. Yeah, they were here
October.
End of October. Yokohama Arena, I believe, was like Halloween or something, very close to
Halloween or early November.
No, it was October. Live at Yokohama Arena, Japan. November 2nd. November 2nd, 98 at Yokohama. 2nd, 1st. Yeah, so Halloween would have been Saturday, so I got my tattoo on Halloween.
Wow. That's a great story, man.
It was really cool. Yeah. But kind of after that, I kind of felt like, man, I wish I hadn't met them. It's kind of took the star off of them. You know what I mean? They became real people. And I think that was the first time I'd ever interacted with anybody famous. Like Gary Sharon. Oh my God, he was so cool. He would after the sound check, he would get off the stage and he'd sit with us for an hour, before he had to go get ready. He'd just sit and hang with us and talk with us. And he's just so comfortable to talk to. And like totally removed any star, oh, these are just regular guys like the rest of us. These are just, they're people just like us. And yeah, we don't have anything to talk about. We don't know each other. The only thing we could talk about is Van Halen, and I'm sure they really don't care about talking about that.
So wait, so how many shows did you go to?
4.
And were you there all day, every show?
What you mean like from morning
or whatever? Like when you go to show up, did you have the VIP or VIP or whatever pass?
Oh, I had full access.
Every show you went to, so you were able to get there like
2 in the afternoon, yeah.
Noon, 2 o'clock, and then be there, hang out all day, and then see the show, and then hang out, and then go home, and go back the next day, and for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we stayed in Tokyo. We got a hotel not too far from the Budokan, and the first 2 days it was just me and Rex, and the second, so we went up the first day, we got our backstage passes, blah 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 blah, met the band, did all that. The next day, we decided, hey, let's go over early. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock. We were going to go over there and just see what they're doing with the lights or whatever, right? So we went to the Hard Rock Cafe in Roppongi for lunch, and we were wearing our backstage passes, and we didn't do the whole Van Halen t-shirts thing. I think I wore a Harley shirt the entire time, and Rex was probably the same thing. So here we are, a couple just Harley shirts, and we had our backstage passes hanging around our necks. We went to Hard Rock Cafe in Roppongi, and they thought we worked for the band. 2 foreigners in Tokyo,
right?
And we got the full access passes, right? So they said, "Do you work for Van Halen?" We looked at each other and like, "Yeah." And so we got half price. No, we got free lunch. They didn't charge us for lunch.
I was going to say, you probably ate for free there.
Yeah, we got free lunch and we got half price at the gift shop.
That's cool. Did that Hard Rock have any Van Halen guitars in it or anything?
Oh God, man, it was 20 years ago. I don't remember.
Because you could have walked in there and been like, oh, you could have been like, oh, Eddie wants to play this guitar tonight, and they would have given it to you. You could have walked out.
Yeah, no doubt, right? I honestly don't remember if there was a Van Halen guitar in there at that time.
There probably was. There probably something.
Could have been.
Because most every location has something in it.
There would have to be something Van Halen in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be, probably one of them weird looking 5150s, right? The one that doesn't have the right stripe pattern on it. You've seen those, right? They're kind of
wrong. Yeah. Oh, those are cool though. Those are really cool. Well, not Hard Rock, but the Guitar Center on Sunset in Hollywood had one for years, which is now in Guitar Center in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a Hard Rock it was in New York. I saw it back in '94 that had a Kramer that Eddie and Valerie both donated in '85. Which I think that guitar is in Rome right now at a Hard Rock. Last I heard, a friend of mine told me. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a great story.
Yeah, it was a great time. It really was. I mean, it was just amazing. It was a dream come true. I got to meet the band. I'm not in any way, shape, or form fooling myself that they would ever remember who I am now. But it was it was a hell of a time. It really was. Really, really was. Yeah, I'm best friends with Eddie Van Halen. Yeah. But yeah, that whole experience just, like I said, it wiped the star factor off of it for me. And like, yeah, I don't ever want to meet another band. No thanks. I'd rather just keep the image of them as they are.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I go to NAM, and so like I walk past people all the time. Like you were talking about Rudy Sarzo. I walk past him all the time. I gave him a fist bump or whatever. I'm like, hey, Rudy.
I think something like that I could probably keep the star factor going. It was the whole personal interaction that we had. Like Gary took us up to the room before they were getting ready. And we walked in and Ed's standing there with a bag of Doritos. And Michael he'd been out in Tokyo shopping. He had this plate that had some Japanese written all over it. So he says to my friend Koji, he says, "Can you help me read this?" So they sat down and Koji was explaining to him what was on the plate. Yeah, it's just, it was too personal. I think probably just the VIP treatment where you just run in and get a picture and run back out. That probably would have been like, oh man, that was so awesome. We met Van Halen. But there's just a little too much interaction. They became real people to us. Like we were back doing the conga line with Michael during the drum solo. Doing shots and dancing the conga. We got video of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We got video of that. We've got video. The picture I showed you where I'm holding Michael's bass. We got video of that whole interaction. We were in there at Kevin, and we've got a shot inside Ed's tent, kind of from a distance. Like we couldn't really go in there, but we from a little bit of a distance we were able to shoot in and zoom in and see some of his gear that he had in there.
His guitars and stuff.
Yeah, and his racks. He had all that stuff. Actually, I don't have that, but I've got some. I got some pictures here. Which book are they in? Where's the Van Halen book? Is it the green one? Yeah.
Minnie Mouse.
It's the 3-pack for the photo albums. Mini.
They're just photo albums?
Yeah.
But they're like Mickey Mouse brand or Disney brand or whatever.
Yeah. So there's with the Wolfgang, and then with Gary, and then with the Jack bass.
Those are great photos, man.
This is back outside Michael's tent. He had that sign up there, and then me with some of Ed's pics, and there's a group shot, the band shot with my friend Koji in the center.
Is that cigarette? Does that mean smoking area?
I'm sorry?
The cigarette on the wall.
Yeah, that's the smoking area.
Wow, you never hear of. All you see is the
Oh, well, this is 1998. It was 20 years ago, right?
Everybody smokes there, though, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't see that inside now. There's Rex with the bass and Ed's guitar, and then there's there's his tech, whatever the hell that dude's name is. Let me take this out of here. Do you recognize this guy?
Well, now you're small.
Oh.
Oh wait. Oh, now you're small again. Oh no. No.
Oh, okay. You need me to talk to get the picture up there. Okay. No, you don't recognize. Well, that's Ed's tech at the time. There's the Wolfgang, my friend Koji with it. And then Koji with the Jack bass. And then, with Ed's guitar. And actually, Koji's got the strings from that, too. They gave him the string. When he changed the strings, he gave him the strings. Oh, here we are up on Mount Fuji. It's sunset. So romantic.
You guys had a great weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
That's crazy, man. 3 days, 4 days?
4 days. It was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the Budokan, then Monday at Yokohama Arena.
So I can see what you mean, man. Now you're just sick of those guys.
And if I remember correctly, I believe the Yokohama Arena show was the last show of that tour. They were supposed to do some makeup dates in Puerto Rico or something, but then they canceled those. Something happened. There was like a hurricane or something. I don't remember. But they ended up not doing those shows and ended up that Yokohama was the last. I could totally be talking out of my ass on why those were canceled, but I just remember that they were supposed to go somewhere and it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So Yokohama ended up being the last one. If I can tell you a cool little story, sound check story.
No. No, yeah, of course.
They were going through some songs on the set, and you know how in You Really Got Me, they'll go into another song and then they'll come back, right?
In the middle of it, like after the solo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're practicing around, blah, blah, blah. They're pretty much finished with their sound check. And Ed yells over to Alex. He says, "What song are we playing in You Really Got Me tonight?" And I don't remember. I honestly can't remember what song. Rex would remember because he's got that kind of memory. But Alex said, "Well, we're going to do this song." And Ed said, "But that rhythm doesn't match." He says, "The beat doesn't match," or something like that, right? And Alex said, "It will tonight." And they didn't practice it. They didn't go over it. I mean, they may have backstage, but they didn't when they were there doing sound check. They didn't even approach it. And I knew it was coming, and I was just waiting. I was standing down there, I was watching, I was waiting. Here it comes. They're going to screw this up so bad because it was two totally different songs, right? Smooth as silk. You couldn't even tell. Just smooth. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man, that's like true musicianship right there. I mean, that's light years ahead of anything that I could ever be possible of doing. It's just, I love the way Alex said that. Hey, that rhythm doesn't match. It will tonight.
So they must have played like a different song there every night.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they did.
I'll have to go back and.
I wish I could tell you the set list. The only set list I could tell you would be Yokohama Arena because I've got it on here. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't tell you that instance. I don't know if it was Yokohama Arena. I don't think it was. I think it was at the Budokan.
So all 4 days that you were, that would have been 4 shows, right?
4 shows, right?
Was it 2 shows, one place, 2 shows, the other place?
3 shows at the Budokan, 1 show at Yokohama Arena.
Okay.
And I don't know why they did that because like the Budokan and Yokohama Arena really aren't that far from each other. I mean, it would be like, less than an hour drive, I would imagine. So I don't know why they did it.
That place is huge, though, right?
What's that?
Where they did the 3 shows?
The Budokan?
Yeah.
No. Budokan only seats like 6,000.
Oh.
Yeah, the Budokan is actually for it's like an octagon shaped. So like, there's not a bad seat in the house. You can be up on the 3rd floor, and straight back from the stage, and you still have a great seat.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it seats like 6,600 or something like that. I can actually pull that up now. Doesn't seem like we're getting any questions or anything. Nobody cares about me.
Oh no, we are actually.
Somebody
keeps saying check your comments. Yeah,
really? I've only got one comment here.
Oh, well, that's the comment.
Let me reload.
Oh, here we got another one.
No, I've got two. I only see two. Good morning, afternoon, evening, guys. Or maybe are you getting some on Facebook or something?
No. Yeah, it's Kenneth, the one that you see, and then the Jep VH. He said, "Gentlemen, gotta run, but we should do a hangout on our setups. Tips and tricks or do's and don'ts. Actually, I have a Van Halen question. On the 5150 tour in 86, did VH do a live MTV simulcast? Possibly Providence?
All right, Budokan's capacity is 14,000. But you put the stage in there, that takes off half of it because you're not getting anybody behind the stage. So yeah, it's probably about 7,000, 7 or 8,000.
That's where Cheap Trick did the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
The live album.
Yeah. I want you to want me.
Yeah. There's only 7,000 people screaming there.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, because I've seen video of inside that place, a lot of shows,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks well, everything looks bigger on TV, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, there's not a bad seat in that place. Not at all. Now, Yokohama Arena was just the opposite. It's like the Olympic Hall, right? So like the stage is down at one end and you're up at the other, and you're like, Jesus Christ, man, I can't see anything. All right, now we had guest tickets, and those should be sitting here somewhere. They're probably in that box. Anyway, we had guest tickets, and our seats sucked. Like they were like the worst seats in any of the places, right? And I was telling Rex, I was like, man, I mean, it's cool that we got these free tickets and we're in here for free, but man, these seats really suck. And he's like, dude, we have backstage passes. We can go wherever we want. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So we headed down to the floor. We walked right up to the front row.
So even during the show, you can go in the back.
Yeah.
Can you watch from the side of the stage, like from the inside?
Mm-hmm. The only place we couldn't go was on the stage. So like we could walk back and stand next to Michael's tent, just right at the steps, and just watch him up right there.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't really a good view. It was better to get down on the floor and just walk up security. When you walk up in security and you got that backstage pass, they just step out of the way and let you walk through. You get to the doors going backstage, the outside, and you start walking around. You get there in the doors, and the security guys are standing there. They just step aside and open the door for you, and you walk right in. They don't say a word to you. So at the Yokohama Arena show on this video, you can find me down in the front row, leaning up against the gate, because I'm so much bigger than everybody. I mean, it's plain as day that that's me. I mean, the whole body shape and everything.
The same shirt.
Look, there's Mully. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I saw your comment. There's the photo from a year ago or whatever, and the photo today in the pet store, and you're wearing the same shirt. And you said you have like 5 of those.
Mm-hmm. Haven't you noticed I'm always wearing the same stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's different.
No, it's the same. It's the exact same shirts.
Yeah, but it's a different shirt though.
Yeah, different shirt, but the exact same style. Yeah.
Unlike David Nesdahl, where he wears the same clothes every day.
I'm not wearing dirty clothes.
the exact clothes. No, I'm just kidding, Dave.
But I have these. I've got this shirt here, and then I've got a black T-shirt underneath it, and by Russell, and I've got like 6 or 7 of these. I got 5 or 6 of these, and I don't have to think about what I'm wearing today. I got same shorts. I got 5, 6 pairs of same shorts, all the same socks. my biggest decision is which shoes I'm going to wear when I leave. And even then, I don't even think too much about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the school year starts, you get a couple weeks into it and the kids are just kind of eyeballing you, and I finally, I went 9 years wearing a Bengals jersey. 9 years every single day wearing a Cincinnati Bengals jersey. I mean, a different one, obviously. Funerals, weddings, everything. Yeah. Work, I'd go to work like that. And my kids would notice that I'm, wearing, the Bengals jersey every day. After a couple weeks, I'd have to tell them, guys, pay attention. The numbers are changing. Today's 58, next day's 85, this one's 33.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They'd be like, huh? Man. Oh, so okay. So Jep VH, your question was about the 5150 tour in '86. Did VH do a live MTV simulcast? Sort of. They did. I believe it was the MTV Video Music Awards in '86, and what they did was they cut to Van Halen playing Best of Both Worlds live. And that was when they showed in the middle of it Addicted to Love, the Robert Palmer tune.
Right.
So that existed. And I believe, I mean, I didn't see it firsthand. I didn't see it when it aired, but from what I'm told, people tell me this stuff. They actually went and they cut that. That was actually live when they showed it. Maybe that's what you're talking about. And then, but that's the same show they did for the Live Without a Net.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
So when you watch that, the Robert Palmer clip is taken out. It's cut out.
Because I remember Ed wearing them funky pants that he was wearing in the Live Without a Net video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the exact same. It's the same show.
Man, that was Sorry, John, how old are you?
39.
Okay, so I'm about 10 years older than you. Were you a fan of Van Halen at the time of the split? Were you old enough to be
84, you mean?
Yeah, 84, 85, 86.
I was, but I wasn't I didn't have any of the albums. I just remember thinking the videos on MTV were funny.
Right.
The Hot for Teacher and stuff.
Sure.
Of course, it wasn't until I saw Back to the Future in the theater and saw the cassette tape, Darth Vader part and that lick.
Right.
I heard that, and that's when I'm like, well, I got to check these guys out.
Okay.
And then by the time the album came out after that, it was 5150 with Sammy Hagar. So that was the first album I bought.
Okay.
Which I get a lot of hate for that for some reason, but the second album I bought was Van Halen 1. So I grew up on all of it.
Well, I obviously, I'm a Dave era fan. And when they split up, I totally went with Dave's side of it. Couldn't stand Sammy Hagar in the band. Live Without a Net came out. I got it, but, the whole Sammy Hagar era for me is just Ed's guitar. My fandom of it. Even now, I'm glad that they have Dave instead of Sammy. But, like I was telling you the other day, I love David Lee Roth, but it's time for him to stop the high-pitched squeals and stuff because he can't pull them off anymore. And he should stay out of that high register. Keep it low, keep it throaty, because that's where he sounds good. What's that song off of Filthy Little Mouth? Nightlife? Is that Filthy Little Mouth or what? Oh, what's the one Jason Becker did?
That's
Little Ain't Enough.
Little Ain't Enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Where are you, Dave?
Filthy Little Mouth. That one I had, but I really don't remember ever hearing it.
Oh.
We can look it up.
He's got a song called Nightlife.
Okay.
And just, I mean, that's Dave's forte, or Sensible Shoes.
Okay, yeah, that's Little Ain't Enough.
That's Dave. I mean, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, and I'm going to go to my grave fighting this. I think on the 5150 album, the AA Political Blues,
mm-hmm.
Dave would have made that a hit. That's just, I mean, that's him,
Mm-hmm.
That would have been so good with him on it. I've kind of settled down in my old age. I've seen Sammy away from the band. Not, I haven't seen his concerts or anything like that, but I've seen like interviews with him and stuff like that. He seems like a decent guy. Still not a fan of that era. I'm not cussing here, but my favorite album with Sammy is the Fuck album. Carnal Knowledge is, I mean, that's the one. That's you don't get better than that, right? Ed's guitar on this is just smoking. This is when he was in his oh shit, what was that amp he was using? The
Soldano.
Soldano, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My God, he's got some tone on this. My God, I love this album. And some of the riffs that he plays on here are just, oh, Ed, you did it again. Great album. I'd say, probably Carnal Knowledge is probably one of my favorite Van Halen albums. Mainly because of Ed's guitar on that. Now, I know the purist, the first album, the Brown sound, and, I like that sound too, but I kind of like well, you know how it is. I mean, you guys know this stuff way better than I do, but, as you listen to each album, you can hear his sound changing,
Mm-hmm.
Women and Children First don't sound anything like Van Halen 1, the tone that he's getting from there. And, 1984 doesn't sound like Diver Down.
To me, because people always ask me what my favorite album is of theirs, I usually say Women and Children First.
Okay.
And I mean, this isn't one of the reasons for that, but to me, Women and Children First is really, that's the only album of theirs that doesn't have a dated sound to it.
Okay.
Like the production, yeah, it has, a lot the reverb on it. But listen to those recordings, listen to those songs, and there's no it's a timeless album. There's no date stamp on
Sure.
it. You listen to every other album, oh, that sounds like that's from the 70s, or oh, that sounds like that's from the 90s. Women and Children First, to me, is the only one that you could take some of the reverb off, but aside from that, there's nothing that places it in that time period to me. So that's not why it's one of my favorites, but but yeah, I know every album you listen, you can hear the different guitar sounds, the different drum sounds. Alex was using the synth drums on 5150.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure. What's the guy's name that does all the crazy tunings? Alan, is that his name?
Oh yeah, Alan Garber. Yeah.
He probably knows exactly which guitars Ed was using on each recording, doesn't he?
Probably, yeah. Some of us we kind of know different things. I mean, what's been said in interviews and photos, like studio photos and stuff.
Right. Speaking of photos, there was one photo I saw that I've never seen again of, I believe it was the 5150, and he had the first tuning key drilled up towards the string retainer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was that the 5150?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We we um we think that the headstock was broken right after like somewhere in 1989,
Okay.
because he was playing that guitar up until 88, and then well, I'm sure you've seen the Tokyo '89 Van Halen
Mm-hmm.
live video.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's
With the
playing
Raggedy Ann socks on. Mm-hmm.
with the what?
The Raggedy Ann socks, the red and white striped socks that he's wearing.
Oh, the shirt. He was wearing a red and white striped shirt.
Right, and his pants went down to his knees, and they were tucked into his socks or something like that.
Oh no, that was '81. No, in '89 with Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, in Tokyo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so go ahead.
That was February of '89, and then it was early. It was early. Was it early '90?
Mm-hmm.
When they opened up the Cabo Wabo down in Mexico, and that tuning key was on the guitar then.
Okay.
So it was somewhere in between there where the headstock cracked and then was put back together, and then the tuning key was stuck on.
Okay. My bad. Yeah, he's wearing jeans here.
Yeah.
This is one where the shirt doesn't seem long enough, and he's a little pudgy. Why is it when they come over here, everybody's fat when they come over? What is that?
You guys have great restaurants.
when I saw him on the Balance tour, everybody was a little pudgy. Now they were all in good shape when they got here, but we were at the end of the tour, on Van Halen 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the Balance tour, I think we were somewhere in the middle, or right at the beginning, and Ed was a little overweight, and he still had that, the roundness to his face and everything. You know how he gets when he's off tour, right?
Mm-hmm. So you were saying how you love David Lee Roth, the Hagar
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You love the Carnal Knowledge album.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think what did you think about the Gary Cherone album? And obviously seeing those shows,
Well, I've always been a big Extreme fan. I mean, next to Ed, come on, Nuno, come on, you gotta love you some Nuno, right? You gotta show some love to Nuno. I've always been a big fan of Extreme. So when Gary joined, I thought, that might not be too bad. Kind of doesn't fit, but he's a professional singer. It might be all right. And we're finally going to be able to hear the Dave era of songs, right? Mm-hmm. When the album came out, I was like, oh God, you got to be kidding me. Really? This is what they come up with? And I was really disappointed. Then when I saw it live, after they'd been playing them live for more than a year, they really had those songs down. And they were really good live. It came off really well live. But no, I still can't listen to the album. But kind of get off of that, Saint Anger was the same way. Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that album's horrible. But we saw it live. They were really good live when we saw them down in Nagoya.
Man, I'm sorry. Hang on one sec, okay?
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
We got people watching this, so you can.
Okay, hey guys. Let me introduce myself again. My name's Mully. I live in Japan. I've been over here since 1991. I do have a YouTube channel. It's Warmoth Strat, WARMOTH STRAT. I don't do much music stuff on there. It's mainly vlogs about my life here in Japan. Lately, a lot of my videos are addressing, I was diagnosed with diabetes back in February. So I've kind of been on what I call my highway to health. So I've been doing a lot of videos on that. I have a podcast. You can find, anything. If you're interested in, following anything that I do, you can find everything at mullysplace.com, MULLYSPLACE.com. open 24/7, 365. So I've known Johnny for quite a while. Oh, come on. Where are we?
All right, I'm back.
There we are. I was just giving everybody a, big once over who I am and shouting out my homepage and my, whoring myself. Just being a whore.
Oh yeah, I mean this is YouTube.
Yeah, I thought when I got married I'd stop hooking, but I still do it.
All right. Did you see that there's a couple more questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Or comments. Kenneth says, I just bought a Kramer Focus 1000 yesterday. ESP body and neck, original Floyd Rose, Seymour Duncan JB, $120. Dang. What pawn shop was that? He says, good deal. You have one of those, right, Johnny? What year is yours? Yes.
Well, wait, I have to ask something really quick. If it's a Kramer, why is the body ESP? Did ESP make those bodies?
I think they did.
Okay.
I think
they were doing the Japan Kramers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're all Japanese. So here's mine again, in case you're watching. Yeah. I think mine's maybe an 86, maybe.
Yeah. Here's mine. In case Kenneth's still there. Here's mine. Silent.
Yours has the different bushings in it though. Did you change those?
Yeah, I did those. Yeah, I did those myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would have come with the wood screw. Like that mine have.
Yeah, I put those in there myself. The tremolo's very loose. For many years, this guitar, when it was together, right here, I had a Guns N' Roses sticker. The cross with the faces on each end of the cross. I think the album cover's like that, right? Yeah. Now, actually,
yes.
That sticker. Remember, they had the rape cover, the original rape cover.
Yeah.
That sticker came in that cover. I had that.
That's the cover that you had?
I bought it when it came out.
Before it got taken away.
Yeah, I had the album and the cassette, with the rape cover on it, and that sticker was in the album, and I put that on here. That was on here for a number of years. My cavity cover here was a plastic classic rock magazine thing that I cut up myself and put on here because I lost the cover.
Oh, like the 3D covers, right? Yeah.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah. Jury rigged it. But yeah, I want to get it together again eventually.
Yeah, that's a great color. I like it a lot. Okay, Kenneth is watching us. Hey, man.
I wonder if that neck is warped any.
He says, I'm refinishing mine. Started sanding the body today. So what color is yours, Kenneth? Did you say? I don't think he said what color his was.
No, he didn't, did he?
They come in different. I mean, the majority of them are like the color I have, that red color. I'm not a fan of that color. But I did have two of those guitars. I had that one that you see, and then I had another one with a hockey headstock where it said Focus in big letters, Kramer in the small letters. I had that one as well. And even though it was both the same guitar, they were different. The bodies were slightly different shapes. The necks were different.
I was working in a guitar shop here, and this guy brought in one of his guitars to get fixed. We were talking, blah, blah, blah. Turns out he had an ESP George Lynch Purple Tiger at his house that he was never playing. He said it had been sitting on a stand for 3 years and was covered in dust. And he gave it to me for free. Okay. Wow. This I've got pictures of that somewhere too. And so he gave that to me. I cleaned it up, put new pickups in it, fixed it all up. It was really, really nice. Then I was in a guitar shop up in Fuji City one night, and they were cleaning out the back room, and they found one of these Japanese Kramers, new, still in the box, from the 80s. It was dead stock. It was sitting in their stock room. It was white. It had been faded a little bit. I traded that Purple Tiger for it. And then I sent that guitar out to somebody and had it painted up as a 5150. But that banana head stock isn't exactly the same as Ed's banana head, right?
Yeah. None of them are.
Yeah.
You could the shape of the one that Van Halen had, that Kramer. Yeah, that's very unique. Nobody.
Yeah. What is that? Come on, Ed.
So well, it was handmade.
Yeah, so that headstock alone was the reason I got rid of that guitar. I had it painted up like a 5150, but that headstock was just wrong. I was like, I can't. It's too wrong. I can't do that.
Okay, Kenneth says his was black, or is. The Kramer that he just got is black, but it'll end up in pretty much the... Oh, I think that's what you were talking about. How do you pronounce that? Bengals? Bengals.
Huh?
Bengals color with stripes, except the orange will be fluorescent. So that's the George Lynch, right? So his will end up being like a George Lynch color.
Okay.
Bengals.
Okay. Who did?
Or are you talking about the?
I don't think he's talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, though.
Well, I think that is what he's talking about. Actually,
is he? Is he from Cincinnati?
I don't know. I think
if you're from Cincinnati, throw some devil horns.
I was thinking about the George Lynch. What do you call that? It's like Bengals or something, right?
It's called the Purple Tiger, is what it's called. Oh! There's my old Wolfgang. My Wolfgang. I miss that guitar.
Oh, and is that the Kramer too?
Yeah, that's the Kramer. That's the one. That's the one. And then I don't have no idea why I sold that. This is an early EVH model. This probably would have been 91 or 92 when I got that. 93 maybe.
And is that one of the California ones or one of the ones from there?
No, this is the EVH.
Has the signature on it?
Yeah. You can't see it.
Nice. Yeah. That's the same color as mine too.
No idea why I got rid of that.
They're great guitars.
I got some nice looking pool cues too, if you were interested in those.
Let's see. Somebody else left a question, although I don't know if that's on this video. Johnny, hoping you can confirm the eye screw location on the Kramer 5150 on the top, on the horn, huh? Oh, on the horn of the guitar, top like all the others, or behind the horn. Both. Originally, it was on the top like a regular. What do you call it?
Right, he moved that around to the back, didn't he?
And then it was moved to the back. So it is.
Any idea why? Probably got stripped or something.
Either stripped or for balance. For balance issues. Yeah, because his guitars have all the strap. What do you call it? Strap pins, eye hooks, whatever, right. All moved in all different locations. Because what happens is either stuff breaks off, or you move it around to change the balance of the guitar.
Right.
But yes. So it's on the back of the horn. It'd be like mine. It'd be like this, if you can see that. Except,
okay, yeah.
Except his would have the washer as well. Mine doesn't have the washer. So,
why doesn't yours have the washer, John?
I don't know, and I hate myself. Can't stand it. No. Oh, Kenneth. I'm from Denmark. I will do a zebra-like pattern in black and fluorescent orange. So he is talking about the George Lynch guitar, right? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying.
This was an Ibanez I owned back in the 90s. Just kind of a close-up body shot.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Remember I was talking about the gold?
Yeah.
Hardware?
Yeah. Not a fan of the gold.
Let's see. Oh, this is another video. Someone just called me and Dave. Well, I'm not going to read negative comments on here. Or should I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. They're calling us radio talk show wannabes. Is that negative, or is that's cool?
No, it's negative. He's being a douche. Oh, here you go. Here you go.
But yeah, that's on a different video. That's not this video.
Here you go.
Oh, that's your ticket.
Yeah, the Balance World Tour. All in Japanese. Of course, right?
So that was the same venue then, right?
As you here we go. Here we go. These are the guest tickets for the. Here we go. This was, let's see. 29, 28. Okay, so it's in Japanese. These are invitation tickets for Udo. It's got the date, right? The date's right there at the top, 10/28, 7 o'clock. The Japanese right there, it says Van Halen in Japanese. So that's October 28th. Then October 29th. Then October 30th. And then November 2nd. So there we go.
Wow.
Thanks to Van Halen.
Wow, that's really cool.
Kiss at the Tokyo Dome. That's on their farewell tour. The first time they farewelled. Motley Crue down at the real tiny place. Megadeth here in Shizuoka. Oh, Elvis, Las Vegas. I had to go see it.
Oh, really?
Well, impersonator.
Oh.
I had to go see the King. You know, the funny thing is, we went and saw that impersonator, and the women that were there were actually giddy, you know, excited. You know, it's like, really? Come on! I mean, it was fun, but the ladies actually made it more fun than the show actually was. You know, just with their excitement of seeing him. I mean, they'd woo, scream and everything.
Were they original fans too?
Yeah, they were like.
I mean, they were all like 70.
Yeah. They were definitely that age, right?
70-year-olds taking their tops off.
Oh God! Please don't throw your panties. Please don't throw your granny panties.
It's like they barely make it to the stage because it catches the air, you know, and like stops. Kenneth, close enough to the George Lynch pattern. Yes, that's what I thought. How do you guys feel about Lynch? He is definitely in my top 5 favorite guitarists.
I love Lynch. How can you not like George Lynch?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Come on, Mr. Scary. That's right up there with Eruption for me. Not as groundbreaking, but still. Damn it. I had pictures of that purple tiger, and I have no idea where they are. So much crap in this room.
Is that a big room?
No.
Are you up against a wall, I'm assuming?
Huh?
Is there a wall in front of you?
Yeah, just behind. There's a window.
Oh, so you're able to see outside?
Yeah. I'm up on the second floor.
Oh,
I'm actually above the carport.
Mm-hmm.
So the second floor is actually upstairs. I'm like between the first and second floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a window here. There's a window here, and well, the window kind of goes this way and turns. It's like an L-shaped window. This is 2016, John. This is what I'm seeing.
Oh, cool. Well, there's me.
Yeah, there you are. There's Johnny.
That's what I look like.
That's you.
Man. Well, yeah, so for you, it's dark outside. For me, look, it's light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's oh my God, it's 3:30 in the morning here.
I was gonna say, man. But it's Sunday morning.
Yeah. And there's the music, man. This is the EX. This is the Japanese model.
Yeah.
I wish I could get them to make this neck shape for me somewhere.
Wow, that's amazing guitar, man. I know people over here that'd be like drooling.
Yeah,
for one of the Japanese versions of that, because it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, the switch is in the right place. Yeah,
I mean it's the same neck too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yep. The only thing it doesn't say San Luis Obispo on the back of it. Nice. The only problem with this guitar is I'm so big. If I stand on stage with it, it looks like I'm holding a ukulele.
I've heard that complaint from people that are, a little bigger. They say those guitars, because those guitars, they're so small.
Mm-hmm.
They're tiny.
Right.
But like you were saying, Eddie's tiny.
Mm-hmm. Who had the negative comment?
Oh, that was a different video. That wasn't.
Oh, okay.
They weren't talking about you. It's all me.
No.
I just said yeah. That was on a video. Where was that? I generally don't respond to negative comments, but this time I just said yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing to do is just ignore them. Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, you say something back to them, you're just feeding into it. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I tell people. You see people
that's what they want,
fighting back and forth on the internet, and you can never win, no matter. Even though you could be totally right, and even though somebody's bagging on me, no matter what I say back to them, doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just going to come back at me again. And even if you and I were arguing about, Dave's better, Sammy's better, it's all opinion. Nobody's right.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I've never understood the Sammy's better than Dave. Well, Sammy has more range than Dave. That's the way you should say it. Not that he's better.
Yeah, I mean they're different.
Yeah, totally different. I mean they're night and day.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as arguing or fighting on the internet, no matter who's even right, there's no end. You can never win.
Yeah, you're not going to change my opinion. I'm not going to change yours.
Yeah.
And for somebody that's trolling, if you react to it, that's what they want. So just screw them.
The trolls. Yeah, I've blocked a few people here and there. I got people coming at me, here and there saying, you suck or or whatever. And if you want to have some fun with it, you can write back. Like this guy said, talk radio wannabes to me on a video. It was a video. What video was it? It was me and well, I see Dave Nesdall on there. Let me see.
I like Dave.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. What video is that?
Dave's good people.
Just in case anybody wants to go see the comment. Oh, and then somebody said something.
Oh wow, man! You get away from that mic, you're totally gone, aren't you?
Oh, the voice?
Yeah.
It's like I'm over here.
Yeah, totally.
Room, and then now I'm back. Now I'm over here. Let me see. Not that.
Yes, yeah. I'm with the Yeti.
Oh, it was Alan Garber. The video that guy left a comment on, if anybody cares. It was Alan Garber explains Van Halen's "Women in Love" guitar intro. 6616. So there's the video. And so yeah, he said radio talk show wannabes, and I just said yeah. I was gonna say thank you. Normally I just say thank you. If somebody's like, "You're ugly," I'm like, "Thank you."
Well, you know, and people like that, hey, if you can do better, get out here and do it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this is just a hobby.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not do this? And people enjoy. We got 7 people looking at us.
Yeah.
We actually have an audience.
Yeah, 7 people. I mean, that's for me. That's like, you know, Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah, we got people because we have a guy talking to us from. Where are you, Kenneth? Did you say you were from Denmark? We have a guy in Denmark looking at us.
Yeah. So you're in California. I'm in Japan. He's in Denmark. How can you not love this?
We're international.
Right.
Yeah, and it's being recorded, so people can enjoy this for generations to come.
Generations to come.
You know, I can look back at this
time capsule.
Yes, I can look back at this video in a year and be like, "Oh, whoa, I was wearing this shirt." You can look back at it, and you'll be looked down. You'll be wearing the same shirt.
Kenneth just left a.
Yeah, I was gonna read it, but yeah, if you see it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, I noticed which video was it of yours? I've been kind of catching up on your Hangouts like the past couple days, and somebody was asking if the Wolfgang, I think it was maybe a commenter, asked if the Standard had the same neck profile as the USA. Or no, that was on that was Broadbent's. Huh? I don't know. Somebody was asking if the neck profiles are the same.
It's all the same conversations over and over.
Right.
No matter who it is.
Yeah. So, okay, I've never played Ed's Kramer, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that neck shape isn't the same as the Music Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had Wolfgangs. I had a Wolfgang, the Peavies. I had a Standard and I had a Special, and I had a couple just the plain, the non-maple top specials, the black and the white, and those necks are nothing like the Music Man.
Mm-hmm.
Not even remotely.
Mm-hmm. The necks are all different.
Yeah.
Every guitar is very, very different. And as far as the Music Man being the same as the Kramer, that's what people believe, because when the Music Man guitar first came out, Eddie said this neck is a direct digital copy of my favorite guitar, you know, and everybody assumed, at the time, the Kramer, because that's all he played.
Yeah,
but that's all he played live.
Right.
In the studio, he uses everything else.
Right. His guitar may have that neck profile, but the ones we're buying aren't.
Well, yeah. I mean,
because I can tell you this: if they took that Kramer profile and put it on this guitar, then they put it on the Silhouette too, because that's pretty damn close to this.
Yeah. They're similar.
Yeah,
they're very similar. And it always kind of struck me as,
and I love this neck.
The Music Man.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it always felt smaller than at least all those production Kramers, like that Focus you were just holding.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different. So I remember thinking in '91, because my main guitar in '91 was that guitar, the red guitar I just showed you.
Right.
This. In '91, this was my neck.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right.
So when that guitar came out, the one you're holding, when he said that's a direct copy of my main guitar, which everybody was assuming was the 5150, I remember thinking, that's not the same.
Right.
And even though this isn't the same as the 5150, it's a Kramer, so it's closer. You'd think it'd be closer to what his was, just not the headstock.
Right.
So I mean, it's possible that the 5150 neck is a lot smaller because it was a handmade neck. So it is possible that it was that guitar, or besides the 5150, his other main guitar for all those years was that Frankenstein.
Okay.
And that had a lot of different necks on it. But I could see, those necks being a lot smaller, more possibly more Fenderish, like more like the Music Man in a way. Somewhat. Although the thing is nobody knows for sure, because he uses everything and anything.
Yeah. When I ordered my first Warmoth guitar, the neck was a special order, and I ordered the Wolf. That's when they had the Wolfgang profile, and when I asked them about that, they said, "Yeah, the guy said on the phone, he says, we actually have a Wolfgang neck here right now that we're getting the specs off of." And he says, "We'll do it to that." And I had a Wolfgang. This is the PV time, and I had a Wolfgang, and that neck got here. It didn't feel like the Wolfgang. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Okay, we have a lot of comments. Oh yeah, that's something else, man. What I originally are you getting sleepy?
No, go ahead.
Is the sun coming up?
Yeah.
If you have, whenever you have to bail, man, just bail. I mean,
yeah, we're good,
because it's 20 to noon here. I know you can see these comments, and I know that's something I messaged you about earlier. Was about the
chat.
The chat. Because someone was telling me, like, open up the chat so we can talk to each other, so people can talk to each other, And so I messaged you asking, when you host these hangouts, do you have a chat box? Do you actually see it? No,
I actually, when I do my hangouts, I'm recording my podcast at the time when I do my hangout. So the chat room wouldn't be open anyway, because we're not really fielding that, but I am checking the comments. I don't know, man. I would say there's a chat. Well, the chat thing's over on the left, right?
Yeah. I think that's just for you and me, though.
Right. Yeah, I think it is too.
Like if I open it up.
Yeah, I think these are just for the people that are in the hangout.
Showcase, screen share, chat. So I open it up. It's just you and me. Like I can send you.
Now wait a minute. There's something here on the Q&A. Ask your audience to submit questions, and they will appear below.
See, I just sent you like a face.
Right. Yeah, it's on the middle of my screen.
I think only you and me see that, though. I don't think Kenneth. Can you see a little face?
No, he shouldn't be able to see that. I think this chat is only for the people that are in the hangout.
Yeah, I think so. And then the Q&A. Yeah, that's another thing to figure out, because Google Hangouts, they're a part of YouTube. But I don't know. I mean, mine, yeah, I record this way, and then once the video is done, it automatically saves to my channel. It's automatically there. So, but if I open up another browser on a different computer, I'm not signed in. I see that I'm live now. If I click on that, I can watch.
Oh, I like to watch.
We got 6 thumbs ups. Thank you very much. It says we have 10 people watching, 11 people, although one of them might be me from this other browser. I'm looking to see if is that Kenneth? Kenneth, no general chat. I see. Yes. Okay, I have a lot of things to read here. I know you can see them because you just go to the comments. I mean, I like it though. I like it when they're left as comments because then everybody can see them.
Oh, hey, there's actually a question pointed at me down here from Greg Grimm.
Yeah,
Mully, you should do a video highlighting the best guitar shops to visit in Tokyo, Ochinamizu, and the best way to purchase, haggle or no haggle. John, have you ever been to Japan?
Not yet.
Okay. There's an area in Tokyo called Ochanomizu. And it's basically we call Guitar Town. Once you step out of the station, like both sides of the street, just as far as you can see are guitar shops. It's insane. It is insane. And you can just walk down the street and just oogle for hours on end. There's an ESP shop about 2 blocks down from the station. And if you go into the ESP shop, if the guy that owns the place, if you can impress him enough to, be friendly to you, he'll take you up to the 3rd floor. You go to the back of the shop, and there's this little narrow, dark staircase. Looks like a rape hallway to me. And you climb this staircase up to the 3rd floor. Dude, heaven. Guitars you would not believe. 54 Strats in pristine condition. Original, pristine, like they're fresh out of the box. Old, like the old, the Carina Flying V's, just the old Les Pauls, and it's just like the biggest collector guitars you could ever imagine are all in that room. And you walk in there and you just drool like, oh my God, look at all this. It's heaven. If you can get the guy to take you up there, it's really nice. The way I got up there is I blew him. No. We were sorry, John. Well, you can't put this hangout up.
Well, we just got 1 thumbs down, so okay. I have to delete it regardless.
Yeah. Can't have any bad press. I had at the time, I had a 5152, the PV 5152 ahead with a 5154 by 12 cabinet. And I had I want to say a 91 Stratocaster in Inca Silver, which had turned a nice greenish color. You know how they age, right? Anyway, I loved my 5150. I thought it was a great amp. It sounded really awesome. But I'm sorry, I'm a Mesa Boogie person. The first time I ever heard a dual rectifier, I was hooked. I mean, that is, oh my God, that sound of that. But it could never afford one. So I'm playing around online one night, and I come across this guitar shop down in Nagoya. Dr. Music is what it was called. And they had a single rectifier combo, a 50-watt combo. So I called them the next day, and I went down there. Now, I got the shit end of the stick on this, but I traded my head and my cabinet, that Stratocaster, all of my pedals, and my pedal board for that combo amp. Okay. Now I know I got screwed. I knew that going into it. But I wanted a Mesa Boogie. It was worth it to me. And that's all that really matters, right? Mm-hmm. The only thing that bothered me about it was he said that he would only give me this much for my Strat. I can't remember how much it was, but it was really low ball, right? Like $300 or something for this Strat. And I asked him why, and he says, well, the condition's not so good. And I'm like, well, because like a Strat, like the finish comes off along the edges of the fingerboard, right? Mm-hmm. You know how it chips off like that. It was like, it's standard stuff. It was in good condition. So he says he only gave me like $250 or $300 for it. 2 days later, I go back on their site. My guitar is listed on the site for $800, saying it's in great condition. That kind of pissed me off. But anyway, I traded all that and I got my Mesa Boogie. And when I got the Mesa, I was looking at Mesa's homepage and they had this messenger bag that said Mesa Boogie on it. And I was like, oh, I want that. So I went to the distributor, like, well, one of the guitar shops that distributes Mesa Boogie. And I was like, oh, I want this bag. And they said, oh, we can't get that. I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just order it directly from Mesa Boogie. So I get on the horn. I call Mesa Boogie. They won't sell it to me because they have a distributor here in Japan. But the distributor won't get the bag for me. So what the F am I supposed to do, right? So I asked the guy, I said, will you at least let me order it, ship it to my mom's house in Florida, and then she can send it to me? And he said, yeah, no problem. We'll do that. So that's what we did. I ordered it, sent it to my mom's house. My mom sent it to me. Done deal. I've got my Mesa combo. I've got my Mesa bag. I'm a happy camper. The guy that took my phone call at Mesa Boogie, his wife's Japanese. And he was kind of interested to talking to me because I live over here. And he really hadn't spent much time over here. About 2 months later, just out of the blue, I get mail from this guy from Mesa Boogie. And he says, hey, our international sales manager and the vice president of the company are coming over to Tokyo and they need a translator. He said they were going to change their distributorship and they were going to go around to the different places and just get a feel for which distributor would be best for Mesa Boogie. It was a 1-day gig, right? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do that for you. I'd be more than glad. And they said, we could hire a professional translator, but if we do that, we're going to have to teach them all about all our gear, blah, blah, blah. You use it, you know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, my Japanese isn't perfect. You mind if I bring my wife along? And they're like, sure, no problem. So I spent a day going around guitar shops with, these two guys from Mesa Boogie doing all this and all that. And that's how, when we were at the ESP shop, they took us up and gave us a tour of his collection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then the next year they came back. They actually changed distributors. They came back and they were going to do a training session. And man, I got that picture somewhere too. Man, I walked into this room. It was up on the 4th floor of this building. Walked into this room and it was floor to ceiling, wall to wall Mesa Boogie amps. Anything that you could ever think of in their catalog was in that room. And we were in there. I was in there translating for these guys. Well, this is the new Lone Star amp and blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. Man, I walked in that room. I was like, oh my God, look at this.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You got some great stories, man.
I've led a charmed life. Yeah, quite some good things have happened since I've been over here. I don't know if the stories are so good or maybe I just tell them well. I don't know. But it was a good time, So I, translated for them twice. But man, I know I've got that picture. I'll show you that picture sometime of that room. It's just when I walked in, I was like, I got to get a picture of this, and I was just like,
oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool, man.
All right, man. It's going on 4. We should probably get out of here.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, it's going.
I was just gonna show the guitar. I was thinking we'd be on a half hour or something.
I know. You messaged me, so
right. No. I'm not blaming you. I didn't mean it that way.
No, I know.
It's your fault, Johnny. Damn it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, great talking to you. I mean, the stories are amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Totally amazing stuff. And yeah, we did get some other comments. Yeah, you read that one real quick. Kenneth says the PVs are way different from all the others. They have a flat 15 radius all the way down the neck, which makes them feel very different from everything else. Yes. Yeah. The PVs are totally different than all the other ones.
I'm probably stupid. What's the cowboy chord area?
The just like an E, a G.
Oh, okay. I've never heard it called that before.
Yeah. Well, you got the hat, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for watching this. We have like 11 people looking at us. 8 thumbs ups, 1 thumbs down. Boo. What sort of thumbs down about this? These are amazing stories with Mully.
Thanks, man.
Saturday
man, some people, you just can't please them.
Yeah.
They'll complain if you hang them with a new rope.
Oh, man. Cool. Okay. Well, Mully, what's your channel?
Well, anything you want, mullysplace.com. All links are there.
There you go.
mullysplace.com.
Awesome. All right. Great to talk to you, man.
Thanks, man.
We'll do this again soon. Johnny,
when you cut this off, hang out just for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Johnny Bean, johnnybean.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go subscribe to Mully, his channel.
Thanks, man.
It's Mully 5150.
It's Warmouth Strat is my channel.
Strat.
Yeah.
Warmouth Strat.
Any guitarist knows Warmouth, right?
Yeah. Anybody that goes way back, at least.
Oh, okay.
Who knows what the Warmouth stuff really is. But yeah, it's cool. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
Bye.
Hugs and kisses.
And fist bumps.